Civil war has taken over the country. Texas and California have succeeded and formed the WAF, or Western Forces Militia, while Florida has created its own alliance. As a then president leads the government forces against the secessionist movements, and he often appears on TV to make speeches, swearing victory is close, thanks to the defense of the loyalist states. However, nobody believes him, and it's only a matter of time before Washington D.C. is reached by the WAF war photographer. Lee watches the speech from her hotel room in New York, and even takes a picture of the TV. Then she notices a bombing occurring in the middle of the city. The next day, Lee and her colleague, journalist Joel take her downtown to cover a protest, in which desperate people are begging for water. They're given fluorescent vests. Before Lee mingles with the crowd to take some pictures. Things soon get violent, as the police officers try to push the people back, only for the crowd to retaliate. This doesn't scare Lee, who just keeps taking pictures. But a young photographer named Jesse gets stuck in the chaos. Lee immediately drags Jesse away to safety, and he learns the girl is a fan of her work. As she gives Jesse her vest, she notices an armed woman running into the crowd with an American flag, and he pushes Jesse down for cover right before a bomb explodes, killing almost all the protesters. For several minutes Jesse can't hear anything, and she has to deal with her shot. However, Lee quickly comes out to take pictures of all the bodies. Jesse forces herself to take a picture too, not wanting to be seen as lesser. Later, at the hotel where all journalists are staying, Lee and Joel discuss their options with their mentor Sammy while he tries to upload her pictures, regardless of the slow Wi-Fi. There are rumors of a big attack on July 4th to make it historically relevant, but they aren't sure of believing it. At that moment the power goes out, which happens often since the war started, and that's why the hotel has a generator ready. After some prodding, Sammy learns the duo will drive through the country's war zones to reach DC, but not to cover the front lines. They want the last interview with the president, who hasn't given an interview in 14 months. In fact, journalists get shot if they approach the White House. Sammy thinks their plan is insane, and he even knows what the best route to reach DC is, so he guesses he wants to reach DC too. However, Sammy wants to go to the front lines in Charlottesville, Virginia, and he needs a ride. At first, Lee and Joel are worried because Sammy is too old to run, but in the end Lee agrees to bring him. Afterward, Lee tries going to a room on the 10th floor, and the receptionist reminds her that the power comes, and he goes so using the elevator could be a risk. At that moment she's approached by Jesse, who has come to thank her and give her the vest back. Lee tells her to keep it and to get a helmet for the future. Jesse explains she's been a regular photographer so far, and she's trying to become a war one, which is why Lee is her hero. Later in her room, Lee takes a bath to try to relax. But she's haunted by all the atrocities she's seen. In the memoirs she's covered, there's been disgusting amounts of deaths, destruction and torture, and Lee took pictures of all of it while being unable to help those in need. The next morning the group gets ready to leave, and Lee is shocked to see Jesse in the car. She has an argument with Joel, who calls out Lee's hypocrisy on many points. She's fine with Sammy, who can't run. And all journalists start at that age, including Lee herself, with no more arguments left. Lee agrees to bring Jesse, but only if they drop her at Charlottesville with Sammy. The group takes off, and when they leave the city, Sammy reminds Jesse to pay attention. The roads are full of abandoned or broken cars, so they must drive around them. At a checkpoint, soldiers make sure to check their journalist IDs before letting them pass during the trip. Sammy and Joel discuss what kind of questions Joel can make during the interview, like touching on the subjects of disbanding the FBI, and using airstrikes against American citizens. Eventually, they find a gas station guarded by 3 armed guys. They really need the fuel, so they're stopping at first. The men don't want to share, but they quickly change their mind when Lee offers to pay extra and in Canadian currency while they fill the tank. Jesse notices something in the distance, and he goes to check while one of the men follow her. Lee gets worried and he follows them as well. To Jesse's disgust, she discovers 2 men hanged by their wrists after being severely tortured. The gunman explains they were looters, and his has been arguing over what to do with them for days since they're still alive. He gives Jesse the power to choose, but she freezes to distract the guy. Lee makes him pose with the looters, and he takes a few pictures later. When the group is back on the road, Jessie complains that she didn't take a single photo. Andy wonders if she should have helped. The others explain this is the journalist life, so she must get used to it because it'll get much worse later. Jessie can't help to cry, but promises to be braver in the future. As the group continues to travel, they hear more empty speeches from the president on the radio. Andy watch the destruction that surrounds them. There are bodies everywhere, but something else catches Lee's attention. Andy she makes Joel stop the car. Then Lee takes Jessie to a fallen helicopter, so she can take some interesting pictures. While doing so, Jessie apologizes for being a burden. Andy explains her old-style camera used to belong to her dad. He's currently hiding in his farm, pretending nothing is happening, which bothers her. Jessie wonders if Lee would photograph her if she ever got shot, but Lee lets her reach her own conclusions. In the evening, the group stops to rest. While watching gunfire in the distance, Lee comments on how she used the Kafir wars as a way to send home some warnings, yet now the violence is right there around the corner. Sammy realizes she's losing faith in the power of journalism, and that's why she's being hard on Jessie. Meanwhile, Joel tells Jessie it's normal if she's unable to sleep after what she saw, and he offers his comfort if she needs it. That night they sleep outside like campers. The next day they go to the area with the gunfire they saw last night. Lee and Jessie take tons of pictures as two groups continue to fire at each other, with a guy stuck in the middle. A team throws out a smoke grenade to offer